here. Hello, I'm the Tarot Diva. Probably should speak a little louder. I'm a tarot reader. I'm not a political tarot reader, and I haven't been until now. Generally read cards for more years than I care to admit, and recently have enjoyed political tarot readers like Revealing Light Tara, Linda G, and Lena, and Marie's Table, and thought since I derive so much enjoyment and a lot of comfort from listening to them, I might do the same for someone else. I think we're all in the same boat. I should add, if you're a huge Trump fan, you're probably on the wrong channel, and I would move along if I were you. You don't have to tell me I'm wrong. Not really. Open for dialogue. I thought we'd ask a few questions today as to me. Did you ever just feel impelled to do something? I feel very impelled to do this, even though it's been very difficult to figure out how to do it and where to do it and why to do it and what questions to ask. But I'm a very much a trust the universe girl. Very, very, very much trust the universe girl. And the universe seems to want me to do this, so I'm just going to do it. And as I said, it never even occurred to me to read on politics ever. I read for people about their lives and their jobs and their children and school and what have you. And seem to be right most of the time. At least they call me up and tell me I am. So, and I really enjoy it. I truly do enjoy reading for people, laying there just quiet and helping them make decisions. I guess I should add at this point that this channel is for entertainment only. These are just my tarot cards. These are just my spread. This is just my opinion. That's all it is. I don't claim to be anything else. I don't claim to be psychic. I don't claim to know anything about anything in particular. I'm not in the know. I'm not, this is just for entertainment purposes. It's just a tarot reading. It's just my opinions. That's all it is. But let's see. I think probably we should ask some questions about the prevailing political situation we find ourselves in. A lot of people are saying that Trump is not going to finish out. I don't know about that, but I thought maybe we would just pull two cards, and unlike most tarot readers, I'm gonna rely on the universe to tell me which card to pick. I know this is a little unusual, but I often do this with my own readings. I let whoever I'm reading for pick a card. So I'm going to pick two cards. I'm going to pick one for he leaves early, and one for he stays maybe to the end. So let's see. Leaves early, stays to the end. Oh, this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. Leaves early. I have to say it's a 4, and it's a 4 of coins. So this is in the realm of possibility. 4s are structures. You have a square makes a house. You start out with a square, like a structure. Everything starts out with the square. Beyond the square is an expression. There's certainly, I would say from this, there's certainly a feeling in some circles. There's certainly an idea in some circles. There's certainly talking about it. But again, this is the foundation of a structure, but not the structure itself. So it's a good start. But I would not in any way consider that a slam dunk. No way would I consider that a slam dunk. However, I think he's thought about it. I think the Republican Party have thought about it. There is some talk about it. Staying the whole course, King of Wands. Wands are ideas, so I would say this would indicate there are certainly people who want him to stay through the whole thing, through to the next inauguration, through the election, and he wants to. He wants to be king. He definitely wants to be king. It's interesting. It's the King of Wands because he's a king in his mind. You know, it's an idea that hasn't been brought to fruition yet. Although some nice ideas are swords, and I understand that. But to me, this is almost the impulse before the idea, and I think that he definitely wants to be. He wants to be a king. He doesn't want to be the president. Yes, he wants to be the president. He wants to be re-elected, but he really wants to be king. That's what he really wants, and he really feels that if he can pull off the second election, which he desperately wants, he can do it. He will be king, and well, that's a depressing thought. Oh shoot, these are not even in the frame. Oh God, I'm sorry. I am so bad at this. Here we go. Here. I'm so bad at this. There's reverse. Okay, there's the King of Wands. And there's the Four of Coins. Let me put them. I guess I should bring this down even further. Can you see them now? All right. I'm going to put those aside, and I'll try to be more cognizant that you need to see the cards. So that's where we are with that. And honestly, I don't think that's settled in any way, shape, or form yet. I know some people think it is, but I don't see it that way. I really don't see it that way. But that's me. Let's ask about the lockdown. I'm going to pull two cards, one for we have a fairly normal summer and we have a lockdown summer. So let's see a fairly normal summer, lockdown summer. Let me bring them closer to you. Fairly normal summer, lockdown summer. You know, if the world is for the lockdown summer, so I would say that then we're not going to have a lockdown summer because that's the end. That's an ending card. And so I think we're going to see the end of the lockdowns. I think the lockdowns worked in the sense that we're flattening the curve. We're certainly flattening the curve. I'm on the Northeast in America, and we've certainly flattened the curve here. However, I have to say the Two of Swords for lockdown is that there's going to be the lockdown's going to go into the summer. I think I can safely say the lockdown is going to go into June. And so is it a lockdown summer? No. But Will it go into summer? I think it'll go at least until June 15th. I think we might be clear by July the 4th, which would be wonderful for everyone. I know how hard this is on people. It's very difficult on people, but I really do feel that um, that there's still and the crossed swords. It always indicates a decision and sort of like a quarrel between two viewpoints. So this would also point to the fact that there's going to be states that are not locked down and states that are still locked down. So you're definitely going to have states wide open on June 15th and states just opening the door on June 15th. And again, timing is notoriously difficult with the tarot cards. So use those dates really loosely, because I mean them very loosely. But it does indicate to me, this card does indicate to me part of the summer, definitely part of the summer, cut off. That's the sword, the two of swords. So I'm going to say part of the summer gets cut off, and I'm going to say half of June gets cut off easily. And but I honestly think that you will have a return to, the beach and going out and July 4th parties and that sort of thing, which is good, because I guess we all need that. Hopefully we'll all survive it. I want to ask, move the cards over a little bit. I want to ask if we'll have a return in the fall, because everyone's telling us we're going to have a return in the fall. So let's just, you really can't see the cards over there, but all right, I won't pick one from there. There's a return in the fall. Huh. Well, there's two ways. Oh, sorry. Gosh. There's two. That's a victory card. But, I mean, how do you interpret that as a victory card? A victory in the sense that we don't have a return in the fall? Or is a victory card in that it's just indicating yes? So, you know what? That's a clarification. That's the Two of Cups. I don't think this cup passes over us. I think yes, we have a return in the fall. Yes, definitely. I think we have a return in the fall. I know that's an unusual way to interpret a victory card, but I am asking a yes or no question, and that's a yes. So that's return in the fall, and I dig the cups. I should add at this point I'm an intuitive card reader, so what comes into my mind is what you get. I keep hearing the expression, the cup, a cup passing over. I don't think the cup passes over us. However, I don't think the second round is as devastating as the first round that we've just lived through, thank God. However, I still think we have to drink from that cup. I really do. Again, Two of Cups, I just don't think it's going to be as serious, and I'm so grateful that it won't be serious, but this is not over. This is not over. Let's ask about, move some of these cards over so you can see them. I think we should ask about Donald Trump's taxes. Will we ever get to see Donald Trump's taxes? So let's ask that first. Let's ask, will we ever get to see his taxes? Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I was going to ask, do we get to see him, and then what happens? And I think this card answered both questions, because I think it's going to be a game changer. I think it's going to be, you know, first of all, just common sense would tell you, why do you keep hiding it? Why do you keep hiding it? If there's nothing in there, why would you hide it? So common sense just tells you there's something drastic in there, and it's probably Russian ties, because his son's already boasted about it. It's not like it's a surprise. One of his sons, don't ask me, Uday or Kusei, one of them, um, said that our money comes from Russia, and he said this before, you know, long before the election. So, I mean, why would he lie at that point? It was just, I mean, it's just, you know, they're just. But I really do think this is going to be a game changer. This is going to be, if nothing else, I mean, it's going to explode. It's going to explode in the press. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the courts say you can't hide it anymore. Although, you know, when did they finally say this? I don't know, and I probably should have looked into it, but I know we're waiting for the courts to say something. I just don't see, even as partisan as the court is, the law is pretty clear. And I sincerely hope this leads to us never having this issue again. Actually, I think a lot of this is going to move us forward in very, very good ways. But so here's the question. The question is, will we see his taxes? Yes, we will see his taxes, and oh my, there will be such an uproar. And it will, I think it will also put probably should turn it that way for you. I think it'll really put paid to the whole, the Russian hoax. It's not a hoax. It's not a hoax. And they have their mitts into him pretty good. Again, just my opinion. Just how I'm interpreting the cards. That's all this is. So yeah, I think it's going to be a barn burner, to use a very old expression. Will we ever see? That's a good question, and I think this probably would be the last question. And I will try and get this up because I've done this a couple times, and I never put it up. I find some reason to hate it, and I won't put it up, and I just feel like the universe is telling me to just shut up and do it. So let's. Will we see justice? Is the question. Will we finally see justice for all this, everything we've gone through? And if you're like me, the last 3.5 years have felt like a jail sentence. And, you know, if it hasn't, well, you know, God bless you, and you probably won't be happy here. Will we see justice? Because there's a part of me that thinks that he's just going to, like, Pence is just going to pardon him, and it just, you know, I lived through the Nixon pardon, and I don't think anybody thought that was right. Oh, here we go. Wow, you could interpret this 2 different ways, couldn't you? We're going to do a clarifier on this. Because this is certainly sorrow. This is certainly sorrow. And if it's us, and you can interpret it as there's some cups knocked over, which means we don't get what we want, but some cups left standing. And I would say this, actually, I think I'm going to interpret it this way. This part is the cups over. That's the federal part. This is Pence forgiving him. This part, that's the states. And, you know, hoorah for federalism, because the states cannot be controlled. The states' attorneys have the right to bring charges. And I think this is SDNY right there. So yes, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, we will get justice. Now, will it be the justice that we want, or that many people want, I should say? Again, just my opinion. Entertainment channel only. No. But will there be justice? Yes. I think there will be justice. And I have to say at this point, at juncture, I do really feel all this was meant to happen. I know that this has been a terrible experience, um, putting up with this man, but I really truly feel that uh, this whole experience was meant to be put paid to republicanism and put paid to trickle down economics and put paid to every man for himself and put paid to, you know, the job creators and all those ridiculous Republican myths. So, let's ask that question then. Maybe we should ask that question. Because I firmly believe it. I believe that if we had, and I had to say it took me literally like 2.5 years to calm down and have this conversation with myself. But if we had Hillary as much as well, we wouldn't have the deaths we have, in my humble opinion. But we would have only made incremental change, whereas I think now we're going to have sweeping change. And sometimes this is what has to happen. We had the New Deal after the Depression. So I think between Trump and the coronavirus and the economic depression that's going to follow the coronavirus, people are finally going to, shake off this Republican fantasy world that some people live in. Let's ask that. So let's ask, was it meant to happen? Yeah, see, I think it did. I think it did mean to happen. And you know what we're gonna pull 2 more cards. So I'm gonna say this is a pass. So let me put this there. This is a pass card, and this is what this is. It's being beset. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this. This is being beset with problems, you see. Beset with problems. And that's what's happening. Like, we're beset with problems. We're beset with problems, the problems of himself, his own characteristics, and just the myriad of problems that came with him. And then, something good is going to come out of this. Can you see that? The star. To me, this says everything. This says just everything. This besetment of these incredible problems caused by republicanism and, the 1% and the fact that, people don't have enough money to live on and can't even weather a month without going to food banks. All of this is going to lead to this. And I think that if you wait it's going to start immediately. It's going to start faster, much faster than you think. And if you understand anything about astrology, you have Pluto in Capricorn. And Capricorn is structures and Pluto is destroyer of structures. And this structure stood for a long, long time, and it can't exist anymore. You can't ignore and neglect all of these problems. These are the myriad of problems, and you can't ignore them forever. They've done a good job of ignoring them since the 70s. Because I've lived long enough. I remember the 60s and the 70s, and boy, was there a difference. And then the 80s came in with the, Reagan and greed is good. And then, but it's going to lead somewhere much better. Somewhere much, 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 much better. And I would even say that it started now in the star, in the sense that we've rediscovered because of the coronavirus and all these problems, we've rediscovered our sense of humanity and our sense of community. And This is a new beginning. This is definitely a new beginning. And I also have to say, like, I'm a complete truster in the universe, and I am amazed. This is the last thing I'll say. I'm just simply amazed at the elegance of the solution of the universe to this myriad of problems. And I'll just put my 2 cents in here that we often ruminate over our problems and we come up with the 2 or 3 solutions, but really we should hand them to the universe, because the universe has literally every solution possible, every solution that exists in the world, and they have access to it. And if you would just get out of the way, you would see that. And I think here's the problem. Here is these myriad of problems. You have, the 1% sucking it all up, and this amazing productivity of the American worker, but not being compensated for it. And so the wealth isn't traveling to the people creating the wealth. And, the lack of universal health care. We're the only civilized nation in the world without it. You could just go on. The fact that 2 people can work 2 minimum wage jobs and can't really afford a 2-bedroom apartment, let alone to own a house. The prosperity of the American people has been stolen from it. And I think the coronavirus, as cruel as it is, and it is cruel, and I feel deeply for those affected by it and who have lost people by it. And I truly don't mean to be light about it, but you have to look at it from a higher level. And I'm looking at this problem from a higher level. And from a higher level, what an elegant solution. One thing, one event, one virus has exposed, 40 years of problems, 40 years of problems in the making, and one virus, one, exposes it all. So I say I think this was meant to happen. I truly, truly believe this was meant to happen. But that's how I see the universe. I see the universe as essentially benevolent. And it's been my experience, my long experience in my own life, that the universe is universally benevolent and has gotten me out of an amazing amount of scrapes. And I tell you, I'm a trust the universe kind of girl. And I think that's all we're going to do for today. And I'm going to put this up. When I figure out how to put it up, I'll put it up. And I hope it was useful. And I'll try to get better at this. I really will. I'm really sorry. But I literally don't know what I'm doing with this. I know what I'm doing when it comes to cards. Don't get me wrong. That I can do. The rest of it is very confusing to me. All this. But I will do my best, and I will do another one and try and answer some questions for you. And I sincerely hope this was helpful. Thank you.